typical big fool story occurred in Hunan 2 days ago. A 35-year-old man, eager to get married, met a woman through a matchmaker. During their blind date, he quickly became interested in her and promised to give her 180,000 yuan as a bride price. 3 days later, they hurriedly got their marriage certificate. However, the afternoon after they got married, the bride mysteriously disappeared, explaining that she was going to deliver some items to her best friend, but never showed up again. 2 days later, the woman suddenly contacted the man, claiming that she had debts to pay off. She also demanded that he buy her gold jewelry, a gold necklace, and a gold ring, and even asked him for some pocket money from his mother. The man replied, saying that if she really didn't want to live with him anymore, she could choose to divorce and return the bride price. Surprisingly, the woman responded, "If you buy me the gold jewelry, necklace, and ring, I'll calm down and might continue to live with you." This story looks like a classic case of a gold digger behavior, blatantly fraudulent marriage behavior. On the one hand, the woman took the money from him, got the marriage certificate in the morning, and disappeared in the afternoon. Then, she made strange demands, clearly trying to continue extorting him. Nowadays, many women indeed have this mindset. They don't really want to get married, but are eyeing the bride price, the man's wealth, and using the marriage as a way to legitimize their robbery. In this situation, society's values and legal protection systems seem to, in a way, condone these inappropriate behaviors. What's even more heartbreaking is, why do these women dare to do such things so openly? The root cause is that they know once they're married, they can rely on the legal identity of marriage for protection. For these women, once they have the marriage certificate, they have certain legal protection, and even if the man decides to take legal action, it's very difficult to recover the full bride price. This is why they become bolder and more blatant in showing their true intentions. From another perspective, while these gold diggers seem increasingly unreasonable, the fact is that some people are enabling their behavior. If such actions could be severely punished, with huge fines or even prison time, would these girls still be so reckless? Obviously not. Therefore, many women are able to do this because they are enabled by certain people. This phenomenon is very sad, but it also reflects some deeper issues in society. As for this man, it really makes you wonder, was rushing into marriage really a wise decision? Is it worth spending 180,000 yuan just to buy a wife? These behaviors are simply incomprehensible. In modern society, why are there so many gold diggers? The fundamental reason is that these men themselves are ignorant and impulsive. I can understand the eagerness to get married, but the problem is that marriage choices are more important than effort. You can't just marry any woman because you're in a hurry to get married, can you? In today's society, gold diggers and scumbags are everywhere, and after marriage, it's sometimes better not to get married at all. Marriage only adds burdens to the parents and wastes their hard-earned money. What's worse is that many of the bride price men give are borrowed money. Imagine this. You get married to a woman you just met 3 days ago. How could she not be after your money? It's clear that she's after your wealth. If you don't give her the bride price, would she still want to marry you? The answer is obvious. Many news cases prove that these girls marry you for the bride price, not for love. I have always emphasized that if you want to marry a woman, at least spend half a year getting to know each other, truly understanding each other's personality, character, values, and habits, so that you can determine whether you are compatible. Only in this way can you ensure a long-lasting marriage. Otherwise, marrying someone without understanding them will only bring trouble to yourself and your family. Many men, what are they thinking? They always think that marriage will guarantee everything. But now marriage can also end in divorce, right? And if you divorce, you lose both money and love. What's the point? So, it's precisely because some men are foolish that they enable these gold diggers, right? I always emphasize, if you are willing to spend 180,000 yuan to marry a wife, why not spend a few thousand yuan to learn and improve your relationship skills? Once you improve your abilities, you'll benefit for a lifetime. Otherwise, do you think marriage will solve all your problems? Marriage is just another beginning. If you have low emotional intelligence, you can easily ruin the marriage at any time, right? That's why I always emphasize that every big fool man seems pitiful on the surface, but in fact, he is also very despicable. Now, many gold diggers deceive men like this. They know that these men are eager to get married. So, they grab hold of your weakness and deceive you. Now, why are you in such a hurry to get married? Why didn't you improve yourself earlier? I always emphasize that when a man is interacting with a woman, whether it's dating or getting married, it's a skill. It's not something you can solve just by spending money. But unfortunately, some men are unwilling to improve their abilities, and so they end up becoming the big fool.
嘿，老子到底要怎么说你们才进嘛？又糟了，又糟了。
I really don't know what to say anymore. These men just won't listen to advice, they rush into marriage and end up getting scammed. Like this brother from Hunan recently. He's older, in a hurry to settle down, and met a woman through a matchmaking service. In just 3 days he spent 180,000 yuan on the bride price and got married. He had just received his marriage certificate in the morning, and by the afternoon the bride had disappeared. You tell me this is really heartbreaking. It's completely incomprehensible. You know it's unreliable, but still you make such an impulsive decision. It's just so stupid. This is the reality of today's matchmaking. There's no foundation of true love, it's purely business. Can you have a romantic relationship with a business partner? That kind of love isn't love at all, it's a transaction. The result is that you think you've built a family with emotional ties, but in reality, the other party is just using marriage as a way to make some money. You want to build a life and family, but they want to get rich. What's wrong with these men? Do they have some kind of brain problem or have their heads been injured? Are they lacking in intelligence? You really believe that a woman you've only known for 3 days will marry you? Men nowadays already have a hard time earning money. Moreover, many women today don't have simple backgrounds. They are the ones using marriage scams to make money. They owe money outside and don't have any genuine feelings. They see marriage as a money-making tool. Have you heard of marriage fraud? These women are initially planning to use marriage's legal status to deceive money. Once they get the money, they disappear. It's unbelievable. They are black household people and are not afraid of being pursued for accountability. They don't care about the consequences at all. These women really make me so angry. I absolutely hate these women. These women have no sense of shame. All they think about is how to cheat money from men. Men who genuinely want to marry have no idea that they've become their prey. And there are also some matchmakers who are involved. They're in cahoots with these women, taking the introduction fee, and when the men get scammed they just walk away, not caring about the outcome. The matchmaker makes a commission and in the end they don't even offer a single word of comfort. The result is that the man gets scammed, his money is gone, and no one takes responsibility. When you ask the matchmaker to take responsibility, they'll tell you, "Didn't you already get married to her? I've already introduced you successfully. Now that this is happening, it's your fault for not being able to control your wife." When you encounter such a situation, what else can you do? You're just unlucky, and these foolish men are too. Earning money isn't easy. They deserve to be scammed. As for those gold diggers, what do you need all that money for? Are you planning to go to the ICU? Why don't these men think more carefully? Now, this kind of flash marriage and marriage scams has already become an industry chain. Look at the current situation, it's not about two people getting married because of true love, it's about wealth. It's even fair to say it's marriage for business. Many foolish men, I feel heartbroken just seeing it, but there's nothing they can do. Like I've said many times before, brothers, don't let this happen to you. You need to know there aren't that many good things waiting for you. A beautiful woman marries you in 3 days, and I think you guys are really too stupid. Are you dizzy when you see a beautiful woman? I've seen so many brothers getting scammed by gold diggers. I really feel like I'm wasting my breath. Let's fight against these gold diggers together.
下一步必须出台一定的政策。
This situation is truly infuriating to watch. Effective policies must be implemented immediately to arrest all those involved in marriage fraud, include them in the credit system, and impose heavy fines to ensure they are all caught. Over the past 2 years, have you seen what these women have become? Each one's morals are completely twisted, with no sense of shame whatsoever and no bottom line. This year, they marry one man, easily making hundreds of thousands of yuan in bride price. Then next year they marry another, and sometimes even several families in a row, turning marriage into their personal industry. Recently, there has been another bad man from Jiangxi who met a woman in Shanghai and married her. This woman seems to have some intellectual disabilities, she's handicapped, and her life was already hard, which is pitiable. However, after marriage, this man swindled all her compensation money from the demolition and took her money. Also, take a look at the situation in Jiangxi these past few years, where women have been demanding an outrageous amount of bride price. Their shamelessness is growing, relying on marriage to extort money from men, forcing some men to the point of helplessness. Some even resort to fraud or illegal activities. Are you aware of this? You're treating marriage like a joke, like a transaction, and in the end, it harms those who genuinely want to find a partner. Now the entire marriage market is in chaos. It's completely messed up. Some gold diggers marry for just a few months, then divorce, refusing to return the dozens of thousands of yuan in bride price. Even when the court rules that they must return the money, they refuse to comply, playing tricks. In this case, the men really have no way to deal with it. I believe that anyone who encounters such a situation should be immediately arrested and sent to a labor re-education facility. You'll be paid a certain salary per month, but you'll be locked up until you've earned enough money through physical labor to pay off the debt, and then we'll let you out. If you're a deadbeat, you should be punished in this way. You swindled others out of money, so you should work off that amount. If we don't take stronger measures, this phenomenon of gold diggers will never be curbed. Do you know? This problem will never be solved. The worse it gets, the more the bad people thrive while the good people suffer. Is that fair? So whether you're a man or a woman, if you meet a scumbag, just make them leave immediately. Good men shouldn't be simping, and good women shouldn't pity those so-called poor families, or I really love you type of men. Some bad men are even worse. Their behavior is worse than anyone else's. Do you know that? Regardless of gender, everyone should establish the right values. What exactly is poverty? What does a truly poor person look like? Not having money in your bank account doesn't make you poor. Being in debt doesn't make you poor. A truly poor person is lazy, with a mind full of bad ideas. That is real poverty. Whether in China or abroad, remember this. Hard work leads to wealth. If you don't put in effort, don't work, don't strive, and only want to spend other people's hard-earned money, then what are you, these gold diggers and scumbag men?
我就想问，中国哪个省骗婚现象最严重啊？
Which province in China has the most serious marriage fraud? According to statistics, Yunnan, Guizhou, and Sichuan seem to be the most affected areas. Just recently, a young man messaged me privately, telling me that he was scammed by a marriage agency in Guiyang for more than 400,000 yuan. Specifically, this included an agency fee of 144,000 yuan, as well as a bride price and 3 gold items adding up to over 300,000 yuan. After the marriage, this woman's monthly expenses amounted to 10,000 yuan. When he didn't give her the money, she ran away. To be honest, this is a typical case of a sucker being scammed. I asked him why he specifically went to Guizhou to find a wife. His answer was that there were no suitable women around him, and this girl was introduced by his friend. Ah, that friend is truly a disaster. I know that many lower-income men face difficulties in marriage and indeed can't find suitable women, especially in many rural areas, where even divorced women are fiercely sought after by men. But I really don't understand, just because you're in a rush to get married, do you have to choose a partner in such an irrational, reckless way? Today's marriage scammers prey on the pain points of single, older men who can't find a partner. They know very well that if you approach marriage with the mindset of buying a wife, you are likely desperate and not rational enough to judge. This is exactly how they set up their traps. These scammers will ask for as much as they want, and you'll become their sucker. This is a very typical scam. So, I'm not against matchmaking, but the key is whether you can be more cautious. Do some background checks, learn about the other person's family situation, check who they associate with, whether they have any criminal records, any genetic diseases, or unclear relationships with the opposite sex before the marriage. Also, you should get a pre-marriage health check to at least confirm your health. If you're rushing to get married after only knowing someone for a short time, it's like you're walking right into a trap. What's even more interesting is that some men are willing to pay several thousand yuan in matchmaking fees, which shows that they have some money. But then the question arises, why not be a bit more generous in real life and give a little gift to your uncles and aunts around you? If you show some sincerity, people will introduce you to girls. But if you don't even have an introducer, how are you going to meet any women? In the end, I really feel sorry for those who get scammed in marriage. Some families that were once doing well suddenly find themselves falling into poverty. There's a sarcastic joke circulating online. First marriage, modest living; second marriage, rich; third and fourth marriages, living in a villa. This phenomenon is really too ironic, especially for those upright, hard-working women. It's truly a disgrace.
If you were scammed into marriage, how to get your bride price back? In recent years, incidents of being scammed into marriage have been increasing, especially in rural areas. Many families, in order to raise the bride price, almost deplete all their savings, only to realize too late that they have been scammed. So, what should we do if we find ourselves in a situation where we've been scammed into marriage? First, let's look at some common types of marriage scams. The first type is when you meet someone through a matchmaking agency, and after getting to know each other, the other party frequently asks for money or gifts. The second type is when they claim it's a traditional custom from their hometown, demanding a large bride price, but continuously delay the wedding date. The third type is when, after the wedding, the woman is very eager, pays the bride price, and quickly moves in together, only for the man to disappear shortly after the wedding. By looking at these examples, we can see that they share some common points. First, the couple often meets through unofficial matchmaking agencies or unfamiliar intermediaries. Second, there is usually a significant distance between the man and the woman, and there are no mutual friends or acquaintances. Third, the woman is often older or a divorcee, while the man is generally an older unmarried youth. These are all high-risk factors for marriage scams. If you or someone you know is facing a similar situation, how should you respond? First, be sure to collect the other party's identity information and keep any evidence of payments for the bride price or other large sums of money. Second, contact the marriage management authorities or the intermediary for mediation. Even if mediation is unsuccessful, this will help preserve evidence. If the person takes the money and disappears immediately, call the police right away. After all, financial matters in marriage cannot be ignored, and if you're scammed, you must take legal action to protect yourself. What do you think about these marriage scams? Feel free to leave your comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support is very important to us, and we will continue to bring you better programs. Thanks again for watching, and see you next time.